So guys, 2024 has been quite the ride. You know, we've definitely seen our fair share of ups and downs this year. Unfortunately, there have been many more ups than downs. But as we wind down the year and start looking ahead to 2025, I thought that it'd be a great time to take a step back and review my portfolio's performance. You know, take a look at some of the highs and the lows from this year. So in today's video, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be diving into my biggest needle movers of 2024. Walk you through my 5 worst performing stocks, my 5 best performing stocks, and we'll take a look at the total profits and losses from each one. But before we get to that, guys, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below and let me know what were some of your best and your worst performing stocks this year. I'd be curious to hear if we have any of the same ones. All right, guys, now starting here with my 5 worst performing stocks, we're gonna go in ascending order. So we'll look at my, number 5 worst performing stock, number 4, all the way up to my worst performer. And with that, my 5th worst performing stock of the year was actually Realty Income. And taking a look at the share price performance over here on Snapstock, which you can get access to when you become a member of the investment club. And if you wanna learn more about that, there's a link to it in the description of the video. But looking at the share price performance, for my 5th worst performing stock, this really wasn't too bad. Year to date, Realty Income was still up about 1%, and it's up a little bit more today, about 0.2%. And if we zoom out over the last 365 days, it looks like Realty Income is still up 7%. So it is trailing the S&P 500 by quite a bit in both time periods, but still, we're not in the red. So we've made a little bit of money with Realty Income this year. And taking a look at my Realty Income position over here on my dividend portfolio tracking spreadsheet, which you can start using for free, there is a link to download the spreadsheet in the description of the video. But here we can see I have just over 100 shares of the monthly dividend company at an average cost of $54.55, and the current share price really isn't too far above that right now, and I actually don't think this is a bad price at all to buy some Realty Income. Which, on that note, are any of you guys out there picking up shares of Realty Income? I would be curious to know, so let me know in the comments. But then looking at my returns with this position, I'm up just about 3% in terms of share price, so really nothing too crazy there, but on a total return basis, including dividends, I'm up 14.25%, which is looking a lot better. And looking at my profits and dividend income just for here in 2024, not much to speak of in terms of unrealized gains. Realty Income only added about $32.60 to my portfolio's market value, and the dividend income was a lot better. I brought in almost $300 of dividend income from this one position here in 2024, which is great. Realty Income is my highest individual paying position, so that looks really good, and the combined value with both the unrealized gains and the dividend income comes out to just above $300. We're looking at $330.73. Not too shabby for my 5th worst performing stock. But anyway, guys, now moving on to my 4th worst performing stock. This was another real estate investment trust. This one was Kilroy Realty Corporation, KRC, who actually had a pretty decent year. They were up 7.4% here in 2024. Not too bad. And if we zoom out over the last 365 days, KRC is up 9.2%, which also is pretty solid. With that though, if we go back to the year-to-date performance and go all the way back to the start of the year on January 3rd, the price was $37.47, which is actually exactly where my cost basis is with this stock. As we can see, guys, I have 77 shares of KRC at that average cost of $37.47. So at this point in time, I'm seeing a pretty decent gain. The current share price is about $3 above my average cost per share, which is going to leave me with about a 7.7% share price return. Not too bad. I mean, all of those returns and then some came just here in 2024, so it's been a good one for KRC, and my position overall is faring pretty well on a total return basis. I'm up 18%. And with that, looking at the profits and dividend income from KRC, the unrealized gains added about $60 to my portfolio's value, and then I also brought in about $166 in dividend income. So this is another solid dividend payer in my portfolio. And when we combine these two numbers, that's going to total up to $224.84. But then, guys, now moving on to my 3rd worst performing stock for the year. This one is Johnson & Johnson, who was in the red here in 2024. As we can see, J&J is down 5.25% just this year. And if we zoom out over the last 365 days, it's also in the red by not as much, but still down almost 2%. And taking a look at my position, I have just about 36.5 shares of J&J at an average cost that is now quite a bit above the current share price. This is the first time I'm seeing the share price in a while, actually. I haven't really looked at my portfolio these last few days, but this is the first time I'm seeing the share price officially under 150. It's been a while since it's been here, but that's going to leave my average cost per share about $10 above the current share price, which is going to put me at a loss, guys. Now I am officially down in the red with J&J, 6.3% in terms of share price on a total return basis. Now I'm also in the red. I'm down 0.75%. And J&J is going to be my first money losing position here in 2024, guys. Looking at the unrealized losses, I'm down $186.66. Dividend income was pretty good though. I brought in almost $170 there, but when we combine these two numbers, I am still in the red. I'm seeing a $16.68 loss here with J&J in 2024, and these next two stocks, guys, it's only going to get worse. And on that note, jumping over to my second worst performing stock here in 2024, this one was WP Carey, which just can't seem to catch a break. This stock was down about 10.5% year to date. And if we zoom out over the last 365 days, WP Carey is down 8.5%. Now jumping over and taking a look at my WP Carey position, it's not a big one for me in the portfolio. I have just over 38 shares at an average cost of $65.74. So with the current share price about $10 below that right now, that's gonna leave me down pretty deep in the red in terms of share price. I'm down 15%. Looking at the market return and including dividends, which are definitely, helping me out here, I'm still down just over 1%. And now if we look at the profits for the year, guys, I've lost a decent chunk of change on WP Carey in 2024. The unrealized losses comes out to about $345. Dividend income was pretty solid though. That added an extra $132 there. And when we combine these two numbers, that's still going to leave me with a loss of $213.40. And now, guys, this brings us to my worst performing stock here in 2024, which is kind of an interesting one because in terms of share price, it's actually done really well. The year-to-date performance is very strong, as we'll see, but my position is still in the red. And making the big reveal, guys, my worst performing stock is actually the newest addition to my portfolio. This one is Clear Secure, ticker symbol YOU, who, as I said, has seen a very solid year. Clear is up 37.65% here in 2024, and if we zoom out over the last year, it's looking pretty good too. It's up about 30.5%. But like I said, this is the newest addition to my portfolio. I really haven't owned this stock for all too long, maybe a couple months at this point, and I started my position right around here, maybe around, $30 to $32 per share at the end of September, heading into October. And as we can see, after that point, it had a really nice pop and got up to as high as $37 per share, but it has since come crashing down and is sitting where it's at now. I mean, $27 per share. And with that, guys, now taking a look at my position, I have 89 shares of Clear at an average cost of $30.21. And I will say the silver lining to seeing the share price go down as much as it has is that I've been able to dollar cost average and bring my average cost per share down. When I first started the position, I think my average cost was somewhere around $33 to $34, somewhere in that mid 33 range. So just from averaging down as the share prices come down, that's helped me shave a few dollars off of my cost basis, which is great. But still, guys, this is going to leave me down 10.5% with Clear Secure. And in terms of dollars, it's really nothing too crazy. I'm only down about $280, so it's definitely nothing I can't recover from. And then looking at the profits and dividend income for the year, I mean, we already looked at the profits. I'm down $283.02. And as far as the dividend income goes, I'm only going to receive one payment from Clear this year, and that's going to come here in December. I'll be paid that dividend on the 17th, I believe, and that will be for $11.13. So, a nice little payment there. And when we combine these two numbers, that's going to bring my total loss with Clear Secure in 2024 to $271.89. So there you have it, guys. Those were my 5 worst performing stocks for the year, but we're only halfway through the list. Now we're going to jump over and take a look at my 5 best performing stocks, which is going to be a whole lot more fun. Now getting right into it, guys, my 5th best performing stock was none other than Snap-on, which is one of my favorite dividend growth stocks. And as we can see, Snap-on has had an incredible year. This stock is up 29.2%. And if we look at the share price chart here, we can tell that Snap-on has had a very meteoric rise in a very short amount of time. Now zooming out, looking at the 1-year performance, it's, pretty comparable to the year to date, which is no surprise. We're nearing the end of the year, so that makes sense. But in the last 365 days, Snap-on is up 30.5%. And as far as my position goes, I've said it before and I'll say it again, my only regret with Snap-on is that I don't own more of it. Right now I have just under 9 shares of this dividend growth monster at an average cost of about $211 per share, and as we can tell, the current share price is just way above that, guys, and that's going to leave me in a great spot with this position. I'm up about 69% looking at the share price returns, and the dividends give me an extra 9% or so. And looking at the total unrealized gains for the year with the dividend income, like I said, this is going to be a lot more fun than those worst performing stocks, but but this is looking pretty solid, guys. In terms of unrealized gains, I added $664 there, and the dividend income was pretty good as well. In 2024, I brought in $69.31, which is going to bring us to a total of about $734. But anyway, now moving on to my fourth best performing position. Truth be told, I wasn't expecting for this one to do as well as it did. This is Main Street Capital Corporation, who's had a killer year. Main Street is up 35.13% here in 2024. And if you zoom out over the last year, it's up even more. It's up 41.4%. And as I'm sure you can imagine, this is going to leave my Main Street position sitting pretty. I have 56.25 shares at an average cost of $40.66. Now, with the current share price about $15 above that, that's going to leave me with about a 35.4% share price return, which is not too shabby considering this really is more of an income play. So I will take that, and the total returns are looking great. I'm up 56.4% there. And looking at the profits and dividend income, the profits were pretty similar to what we saw with Snap-on. The profits from Main Street came out to $655.44, and the dividend income was just astronomical. I brought in $223.10 in cash flow from this one position, bringing the combined value to $878.54, which is great. We're almost to that four-figure mark with these positions, guys. All right, now moving on to my third best performing stock for the year. This one was Enterprise Products Partners, so it was up 27.75% here year to date. Not too shabby there. And if we zoom out over the last year, it's up even more. EPD is up 31.4%. So in both departments, we're looking really good. And looking at my position, it's pretty crazy to see what the share price is doing. It's coming up on $33 per share, which is almost $10 above my average cost. And I have a decent EPD position, I would say. I have about 113 shares. So it's kind of middle of the road for me in terms of position size, and the total returns across the board are looking great. I'm up over $1,600 including dividends. But looking at the percentage breakdown, we're coming to about 37% just in terms of share price. On a total return basis, we're looking at more like 60%. So that's pretty great. And both the profits and dividend income are looking pretty juicy from EPD, guys. The unrealized gains are coming out to $724.54, the highest that we've seen all day. And the dividend income is equally as impressive, $228.52. And when we add these two together, we are so close to hitting over $1,000 with these individual positions, but we're coming out to $953.06. I'll take it. And then, my friends, this is going to bring us to my second best performing position, which was Altria Group, believe it or not. Here in 2024, MO was up a whopping 47.34%, a killer year for Altria Group, guys. And if we go over to the one-year performance, it's up over 51% just in the last 365 days. This has been crazy to see. And looking at my position, this is another middle-of-the-road one for me, I'd say. I have 56.2 shares of Altria at an average cost of $42.63, and it really wasn't that long ago that the share price was actually under $40 per share, and I wish I would have taken a page out of PPC Ian's playbook and loaded the boat at that price, but hindsight's always 20/20. We're still making good money on it. Share price is looking pretty good, quite a bit above my cost basis, which is going to leave me up 34.25% in terms of share price and 62.25% on a total return basis. And things are just looking so good in terms of profits and dividend income here. Really nice profits, or unrealized gains, I should say, $904.92. Dividend income was also very sweet as well, above $200 for the year, $217.54, bringing us officially across $1,000 with these combined numbers, $1,122.46. All right, guys, we are 9 stocks in. We've covered some really poor performers. We've covered some pretty solid performers, but none of them compare to my best performing position here in 2024, which I'm sure is going to be no surprise to a lot of you guys. This was, of course, Williams-Sonoma, who was up 95% year to date. Oh my goodness. And Williams-Sonoma's up another 1.8% just today as I'm recording this. And if we zoom out over the last year, it's actually a little bit worse, 94.25%. Still though, either way, looking at my position, it's just so good, guys. 36 shares and an average cost of $66.54. And the current share price is really getting up there. It's getting close to being back above $200 per share. It's been so crazy to see what the share price has done. And so looking at the returns, I'm up about 181%. Without dividends, including dividends, I'm up about 185%. And guys, just look at those profits right there. $3,100 added in 2024 from this bad boy. That's crazy. I'm really happy to see that. The dividend income's not too bad either for this guy. I mean, Williams-Sonoma is a dividend growth stock. The starting yield's not the highest, but still, we brought in $77.58, which is not too shabby. And when we combine these two guys, It's looking great. $3,177.18 from this one position alone. That's insane. So there you have it, guys. We made it through all of those stocks, my 5 worst performers, my 5 best performers. And just to recap, here's what everything comes out to when we total it all together. Looking at the gains and losses with these 10 positions, even my worst performers, we still added over $5,300 to the portfolio. And when we add the almost $1,600 in dividends that came in from these 10 positions, the total unrealized profits in dividend income for the year comes out to just under $7,000. We're looking at $6,918.76. So overall, guys, 2024 has been really good to me, and I'm so stoked to be, inching closer and closer to $100,000 in the portfolio, and we're getting there super quick. But with that said, at the same time, all of this rapid growth in the portfolio is also kind of starting to scare me. And in this next video right over here, I'm telling you why. And I'd be curious to know if you guys feel the same. So click right over here to learn about that, and I'll see you in the next one.